My punks and my skins, by now all of you have no doubt witnessed the sickening display emanating from the White House, together with the belligerently unapologetic attitude attendant in its wake. Now, for those of you who are somehow unaware, this kind of disgusting, bigoted caricature was once quite common. The sort of grotesque imagery which you would see all too often once upon a time, to wit, in the past, seemingly buried in the past, and yet it is precisely this kind of poison which has staying power, lineage and longevity, which is why it tends so unexpectedly to resurface, to rear its head, to issue a reminder that it is still here. That it is still here, that it has been here all along, and moreover, that it is in fact being perpetuated, refortified for today, and very likely for tomorrow, in spite of its belonging in the past. When I saw that inexcusable mockery, it ignited within my mind's eye a series of images going back to those carefree bygone days of Dixie. Images of blackface and gollywogs and tar babies. Of the very essence of the whole battery of insults to the injuries of Jim Crow. And amidst all of those images, one flashback recollection in particular reasserted itself in my memory. Tell me, how many of you remember this? I imagine that most of you have in fact seen documentation of this celebrated establishment of fine dining. I can almost hear your collective concurrence. Oh yeah, that is a total blast to the past. And it is a blast to the past. To that past south of Mason-Dixon, south of Mason-Dixon. To the land of cotton. Of segregation, of whites-only bathrooms, of sundown towns, of lynch mobs. It is the very epitome of the latter days of the Ku Klux Klan. It is beyond any doubt the orchestra pit to the song of the South. And you are correct, to a degree, but only to a degree. For you see, this little remembrance of mine, it doesn't originate from down south. No. No, what was brought to my mind was something a little closer to home. Something which you could say is just down the street. How many of you are alumni from Grant High School? Tell me, does their journalism class still publish a newspaper for the student body? I ask because I happen to have a back issue of just such a publication. It's from May of 1940, only 26 years from now. Such nostalgia. Amongst the accounts of sock hops and talent shows and the homecoming queen, between the glee clubs and the pep rallies and all of the other trappings of high school spirit, there is a timely incentive for the graduating class of hungry youngsters. A generous offer, quite affordable, and so conveniently located, because I will say to you again, this was not down south. This wasn't south of anything. This was over on the north side. Over on the north side. Capiche? Right here. In your liberal, diversified, enlightened, and oh so progressive, precious Rose City. Happily, here is the self-same structure as it appears today. A completely different entity. An upstanding, reputable steakhouse, again, an irrefutably, starkly different establishment altogether. I reiterate this to you because, as stupid as some of the activists out there are, there is absolutely and obviously nothing to be gained by racing up to this building and shouting, "How dare you used to be this racist thing?" The current owners and operators are not to blame for the tainted history of this place. No, my only reason for bringing it to your attention is so that the next time you happen to be driving past it, you will remember that which should never be forgotten. Let it serve as a sort of counterbalance checkpoint to Rose City sanctimony. Now, it is true to say that to a lot of people, all of this must seem to be long, long ago. And to some of you, perhaps it is. To others, though, this might not seem that long ago at all. I used to eat at Sambo's myself. Yet, despite how far removed or how recent all of this might be adjudged as being, there is an almost universal consensus that this kind of ugliness, that this kind of obscenity belongs to and belongs in the past. And yet, here we are now, revisiting it all over again today. Today, and very likely tomorrow. To those of you who might deem it insensitive to reference such things during what I am given to understand is Black History Month, I will not hesitate to submit to you that this is Black history. And now, so is this.